jolt and then you'll die.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Rishabh Dhanuka Gaming. Today gonna talk about top 10 best PS2 games of all time. This is my personal list, so if there's any game that's missing, do let me know in the comments below. So let's start this list. Starting off with the first game, it's Burnout 3, which is Burnout 3 Takedown, which was released in 2004. It's an arcade-based racing game developed by Criterion Gaming and was published by Electronic Arts at that time. It's the third installment to the gaming series of Burnout, and it's categorized as a fast-paced arcade racing. The third installment made a lot of changes, including more destructive wrecking ball, like more car bursting, more destruction derby flavor to it, especially introducing a crash mode which brings a lot of like in-depth changes to the games that come today as an arcade game, including Forza Horizon 5 and stuff like that. This game set the pioneer for the best destruction derby gaming of all time. Coming up next, the game that I love the most about like the crossover game is Capricorn versus SNK2. This game set the mark of millennium in 2001 and was released in PS2 but had a very different name for the Japanese version, which was called Capcom vs SNK2 Millionaire Fighters 2001, which was a sequel to Capcom vs SNK, which was a huge success and was earlier released in Naomi's hardware in arcades but was later introduced in PS2, which was a big deal for us. Coming up, the next game in our list is God of War 2. God of War 1 was a huge success when it released, and God of War 2 was not less of a success too. It was an action adventure hack and slash game, and it was pretty fun to play on a PlayStation because for the first time were immortal and we could like beat enemy asses, and the combat system for this game was exceptional from all the games that have released that day. Even Devil May Cry, which came later on, followed the same concept as God of War did. Coming up, the next game is Gran Turismo. This is not like an arcade racing game, more of a real rally racing game and has some cool features to it. Although the Gran Turismo series doesn't come every year as a Need for Speed games or other games, but each time the new installment comes, it brings new things to the table, especially Gran Turismo 4 bringing a lot of new things to the gaming industry itself, including a accessory that you can buy to play the game like a real car does. This was a very big thing that was brought to the PlayStation 2 itself. Coming up next is Max Payne 2: The Fall of Max Payne. This game was originally expected to have ended the Max Payne series, which was released in PlayStation 2 after the success of Max Payne 1, which brought a lot of new things to the action shooter genre, which was the bullet time gunplay, which was a very popular thing at that time. And Max Payne 2 followed that same tradition but polished it with more grace and style and introduced more cinematic and stylish experience to it and bought it on the PlayStation. It was also available on Xbox and PC itself. Next game to our list is Persona 5. This game was also released on PS3 because of its huge success in PS2 in 2008. It was a mixture of modern Japanese high school drama, dungeons, monsters, and was a very interesting game in my opinion. And if you haven't played this game, if you like JRPGs, you should definitely try this out. Next up on this list is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Prince of Persia, originally released in 1999, had a reboot to it which was released on PS2 consoles and later on PC. This game was called Prince of Persia: The Sand of Times. This marks the trilogy of Prince of Persia which later on released. It embraced a lot of cool features by Ubisoft which included wall climbing and stuff which was later implemented in Assassin's Creed itself. Next game to the list is Jak 2. Jak and Daxter was a huge success in on the original PlayStation, and so Jack and Daxter was bought to PS2, which was more of an arcadic approach to the action open world genre, but was pretty much very interesting and brought a very interesting storyline to it as well. Next game on this list is Shadow of Colossus. Shadow of Colossus is a very unique and thought-provoking masterpiece which was released at that time and was into somewhat of a Dark Souls genre but was pretty interesting. As you heard the name, you have to defeat various big giants in it, and it was pretty fun, and its remake is also released in PlayStation 4 back in 2018 itself as well. The final game to this list is Kingdom Hearts, which is a pretty well-known game by now. It was originally released back in 2002 in PlayStation. It's similar to the Final Fantasy genre but more in depth, more superb visuals, and it actually laid the foundation to where Final Fantasy is standing right now. Some bonus games that I would like to mention are Silent Hill 2, which is also a masterpiece of terror games which brought various things to the PlayStation 2 genre with haptic feed with the dual shock motors and stuff like that, which could actually be felt when you have a jump scare and stuff like that. Next up, it's Resident Evil 4. It's a horror action based game, has very good game effects, and is more exploring on the corners of Spencer Mansion and Recon City, which is a side line to the main story, but it's quite interesting and gives us a brief about all the secrets that it hides. And next game on this list is Soul Calibur 2, which is a great triumph was the level of gameplay field for both the fighting experts and novice alike because it had very flashy combat moves, hard hit attacks, and was good for a co-op play with the friends during a weekend. Each player has its own variable skill list which could be mastered by a person and had a good story mode to invest in as well, with a sweet temptation for playing co-op as well. Next game to the list is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, which is the fourth installment to the Pro Skater series by Tony Hawk, and it has a lot of new features including rumble from DualShock 2, which gave us haptic feedback while doing stunts and tricks itself. It had various enhanced tricks and tricks, and it also had enhanced graphics because of the limit of PlayStation 2 in comparison to PlayStation 1 itself. That's all for this video. Hope you like this video. If you have any game suggestions, do let me know in the comments below or ping me or DM me on Instagram. Till then, peace.